Hi guys, we're here at Digital DNA at Startacus Chats. Delighted to be joined by Mary McKenna.
Hi everybody, hi.
Mary is an Irish investor. She's also deeply involved in STEM and obviously working across supporting more girls getting into technology.
Yeah.
Mary, let's start by talking about what you do. How did you get involved as an investor? What's your background?
I started a tech business in Derry back in 2006, which I co-founded, called Learning Pool. It's a big e-learning, online learning company, still doing really, really well. And I sold my half of that business in 2014 and decided that I would use some of my money to help. My particular interest is in female founders and first-time entrepreneurs, so just to get a few of those new companies going. So I've been doing that for the last 4 years. I've invested in 6 startups, tech startups.
And am I right in thinking that of those 6, 3 are female-led founders?
They are, yeah. 3 have got female-led founders, yeah. One of them's in Derry. It's Elemental Software with Jennifer Neff and Leanne Monk. Great company.
Okay, cool.
Great guys.
So what can we all do? What can the startup ecosystem do to drive more women into tech? Or is this a problem that is not solvable, or is it something that we can do one step at a time?
Gosh, well, everybody kind of goes round and round the houses with this one, don't they? I mean, there is no getting away from the fact that being in a startup is completely all-encompassing. I met 2 young women in London last week that had been introduced to me by Ollie Barrett, and I sat down and chatted. They were coming out of the Zinc accelerator. Sat down and chatted to them, but what I ended up really talking to them about was the absolute commitment that you need to make, because you guys know this as well. Once you roll that dice, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Once you've got 10 people working for you, or a payroll to meet and commitments and whatever, it's very hard to be able to say, actually, this is not for me and I'm going to call time on it. So for women, there isn't really, women do bear the lion's share of the childcare and whatever, and it is hard. Like Leanne and Jennifer have 2 children each, and they work around that because they've got very supportive partners, but it's hard. I think it's harder for women.
Jen was actually working in Dubai as well, so it wasn't even just that, it was...
Yeah, although that was actually great for the company, because it meant that we could kind of like cover a much longer day.
So Mary is based in Donegal, just over the border near Derry. You are also an entrepreneur in residence in St Mary's, which is a school in
St
Derry.
Mary's College,
so, tell us more about that, because that's an amazing thing.
Well, it's an all-girls school in Derry, in a very working-class part of Derry. It's in the Cregan, and I was there last year for Global Entrepreneurship Week. Just where you show up at a school and you talk for 20 minutes. And one of the teachers mentioned to me that they'd seen like a private school in London that had an entrepreneur in residence. And so I went home that night and I Googled it, and true enough, I could only find one other school in the whole of the United Kingdom that's got an entrepreneur in residence, and it's a private school in London where the students pay £18,000 a year to go there. So I just thought it was a really good opportunity for me to have like a direct relationship with a large number of teenagers, because I think that we leave entrepreneurship far too late in this country. So if young people are not already thinking about it by the time they're 15 or 16, maybe they never will. So I spoke to Mary Lindsay, who's the principal teacher at the school, and asked her if she would like for me to be their entrepreneur in residence for the next 2 years. So that's what I do. I commit 1 day a month. It's pro bono, and I go along and I run workshops. I do 4 one-hour workshops for the girls, different ages. So I do 11, 12s, and then so on. And we just finished up yesterday for this academic year. It's been incredible. 120 girls have opted in. So, and we've covered all sorts of good topics this year around entrepreneurship, but also around their career choices. Because the future of work is a tricky place, and teachers maybe are a bit nervous about making recommendations to students over the courses that they, qualifications that they need. So it's been a fantastic experience, but I would really, really like to find somebody that would help us scale it out, a bit like Coder Dojo or whatever. I think that this is, every school should have this, because the relationship that you have with the school when you go in 1 day a month is totally different from that showing up once a year for 20 minutes.
So really you need someone, obviously, not at a grassroots level necessarily, but from a government level, to see this as something that they could roll out, would you say, or is it something where you want to get corporate support?
Yeah, well, I'm surprised that neither the Department for Education or Invest NI haven't been calling me to say what can we do to help you scale this.
Why is that?
I don't
Should
know.
be in every school by now.
It should be in every school. Yeah. I'm willing to share the program that I've devised for this with anybody else that wants to do it.
Okay. Is it a limited company or a social enterprise? How's it been set up as a business?
I've just been doing it on my own actually.
Okay, wow.
Although I have just set up a social enterprise with Claire McGee.
Okay, yep.
It's called Awaken Hub.
Yep.
And Claire and I are going to be doing a lot of cool stuff in the Northwest, because I actually think that the Northwest is a bit of a desert for startups.
It is, yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. So just for our audience who's watching it and they don't understand where the Northwest is, the Northwest, obviously with the Northwest of Northern Ireland, would be anywhere from the Causeway Coast going across to Limmer Valley, probably into Strabane and the Omagh area as well, and then Derry is the heart. Yeah. So it's quite a large population, but within that, there's not that much going on, is there? I don't know. I mean, I look
The only excuse is the
back.
mountains, sort of cut off from everything else, but that's not an excuse anymore with the internet.
I get sick and tired of arguing with people about whether or not they should be investing more money into the airport there. Yeah. Everything in Northern Ireland is totally and utterly Belfast-centric.
Yeah.
There are no Northwestern companies that are on the PEL this year.
Yeah.
We were just talking now about how many good startups in the Northwest that we can name between us, and we know everybody. Yeah. It's 4 or 5,
4 or 5, yeah. And it's sad because 5 years ago there was an initiative there that was kind of part chamber-led, part through the City of Culture and part through obviously other bodies, ILEX and things like that, which was called Digital Derry. The results of that mixed. Some things have come from it, but what's replacing that? What's driving the early stage entrepreneur? Like I was unemployed. I went into the job centre. Self-employment was never mentioned to me as an option when I went in.
Yeah.
Why is that happening?
And that's one of the reasons why I'm in the school actually.
Yeah.
Is to plug that gap for that particular school. But I need to scale it.
Yeah.
We have to have more people talking to young people.
Yeah, totally. Mary, I dig what you're doing. I love what you do. Obviously, not just locally here, but across the whole of the UK and Ireland. So we are blessed to have you here today talking.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
No, thank you. Mary's also a judge at Upstart, which is the pitch competition happening tomorrow.
I can't wait for tomorrow to see these startups.
25 startups, and they're all come to Belfast from the UK, Ireland. We're delighted to have them here.
You've done a great job of that with Startacus. Well done.
Thank you, Mary.
All right.
Yeah, awesome.